Hal Lambert is here. We've always talked remotely over all these years, and now here he is in the flesh. I can guarantee you he has a lower torso. It's good to see you, Hal.
Good to be here.
You were a big backer of anyone but Donald Trump in the races. Now you're telling me during the break it's Donald Trump now. Are you going into that holding your nose, or are you just a good Republican and he's the nominee?
Well, look, Donald Trump would be tremendously better than Joe Biden. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, what's happening on the border? We're getting all the news is happening. You just covered it. It's a disaster. We've had close to 10 million people come into the country that we don't know who they really are. They've just come in, and I think that's going to be the #1 issue. And I think Donald Trump ends up winning this because of that.
You're a rich guy. You have a lot of money. Did you ever think of, giving some money to help Donald Trump out with this $454 million bond judgment?
Well, I'm talking to some of the team with Trump's campaign, and we'll see where this goes. But I think the legal side of it, there's going to be others I think that are going to probably help with that.
But no one has. No one.
Yeah, it's tricky.
What are they afraid of?
Well, Donald Trump's a rich man too, right? So I think there's probably that. People are saying, well, he can cover legal bills as well.
What does that tell you?
There's the fine in New York that's a little different than the legal bills, right? So you've got the big fine that they've put on him, and that's in the process of being worked on. But yeah, I mean, when you look at $400+ million by a judge here in New York, that's a big number for anybody.
And the repercussions, certainly for real estate here, corporate and otherwise, would be huge if you have to start unloading properties, right?
And I think it's negative for New York in general, right? I mean, if you're a Republican or conservative in Manhattan and you're in the real estate business, are you going to second guess maybe what you're doing here, and could they come after you next? I mean, it's not a very long-term good thing I think for the city to have people going after individuals on tax issues and trying to take their property.
What do you think happens now? Republicans, I understand, in your case as well, rallying around the likely nominee, now known nominee, but he does have a lot of issues going into this, all these legal issues you outlined. You had warned about that when you were backing Ron DeSantis. I'm just wondering, now that he's there, those issues haven't gone away. Are you worried that wounds him in the general election?
Well, I'm worried more about the time constraints around it. And the election going into presidential is very time consuming. He's going to have to spend a lot of time on the road, a lot of time in interviews, a lot of time campaigning. And then you've got this whole legal side of it going on at the same time. And imagine one is is time consuming. Sure. He's got 3 or 4. So that's the thing I'm really worried about is the back and forth from a time perspective. As far as whether it hurts him with voters, I don't see that happening.
Quite the opposite.
It hasn't happened.
You could make the argument that if there wasn't this legal pile-on, whatever you want to call it, it might have been a more difficult effort for him to win the nomination, but there was a rally around Donald Trump effect. You still see the party sticking to that, and even Nikki Haley's followers following suit?
Well, when that first indictment came down, his poll numbers went up, and they never came back down. They never came back down. Is
that when at least the DeSantis campaign realized this is bigger than whatever we're doing?
Well, it became really tough, right? Because every time there was an indictment, his numbers went up, his fundraising went up, and so you're running against something that you have literally no control over, and it was happening, simultaneously all the way through that primary.
Well, I've got you a successful financial giant that you are. Joe Biden is aiming for guys like you, wants to raise your taxes, wants to raise corporate taxes. Obviously, that's a difficult move in this environment, but what do you think of all that?
Well, that's the same old playbook, raise taxes. But, over 50% of the taxes are paid by 2 or 3% of the country. I mean, at what point do you say that's pretty progressive? I mean, if you want to have a progressive tax policy, that's what it is. And they love to come out and say that, XYZ person pays lower taxes than Jeff Bezos and that kind of thing. That just, I don't think that works with the American public. Taxes are high. We're taxed everywhere we go, all across the board. Everyone's feeling it. And so when you come back to that same playbook of we've got to raise taxes on the rich, we've been there before. I just don't think it works with voters.
Real quickly, your thoughts on the Federal Reserve. What do you think it does? What do you think it telegraphs? What are you banking on or thinking happens this year on rates?
Well, look, core PCE is 2.9%. It's well above the 2 that they're looking for.
Yeah.
So clearly they're not raising rates right now.
But they don't have to be at 2 to do it.
That's right. They could be going, but they've not been going in the right direction recently.
So that holds them off for a while.
I think that holds them off. And then you go, the Fed doesn't want to be political or perceived as political, which kind of makes them political, right? So you're looking at it going, okay, the closer we get to November, are they going to start cutting rates going into an election. That's pretty unprecedented to do. So I'm more of the camp that I don't know that they're going to hold. I don't know that they're going to raise or lower rates at all this year.
Wow.
It's possible, but I don't think that they necessarily will. If we don't get a big drop in this core PCE over the next few months, which they'll be data dependent on, they're not going to cut rates. Why would they? People look at it and go, well, they should cut rates. If we hadn't just raised rates by 5% very quickly,
right,
and we were just in a normal interest rate environment, would everyone be talking about cutting rates right here? I don't know that they would be.
No, that's a very good point. You're referring to the personal consumption expenditure. That's a big thing the Fed likes, particularly the core part of that without food and energy, and that's still pretty high.
Yep.
To your point. Hal, great seeing you again, my friend. Hal Lambert on all of that.